Hi, I'm Jill Snitcher, Executive Director of the Columbus Bar Association. The pandemic has affected all of us in very different ways, in very unique ways, and in ways that may affect our lives going forward. Lawyers are no exception to that. We've all experienced different things, whether in our family lives, our personal lives, or our professional lives. We have interviewed some local attorneys as part of our Pandemic Perspectives video project. You can find a link to Pandemic Perspective videos on our CBA website, www.cbalaw.org, or you can go directly to our YouTube channel. Pandemic Perspectives was created in-house by the Columbus Bar Association's production services team. We think you will enjoy both the content and the quality. Thank you.
My fellow Ohioans, we have not faced an enemy like we are facing today in 102 years. You have to go back to the 1918 influenza epidemic. We are certainly at war. I don't know any other way to describe this but to say that we are at war. Dr. Acton just signed a stay-at-home order for all Ohioans.
My name is Lindsay Ford Ellis. I'm Assistant General Counsel at Ohio Health Corporation, and I've been practicing for 14 years. December of 2019, I think my husband started talking to me about, have you been watching this news with the coronavirus in China? Have you seen this story? This is really a big impact. And simultaneously at work, we're starting to hear rumblings about coronavirus and the impact that it's having in China. And then you fast forward a little bit to January, and you started to see the stories in Italy, and they're shut down. And we're still not all convinced in our mind that this is really, going to impact our country and our community. March 2020, it was maybe a week shift. We started our, at Ohio Health, we started a command center because we started seeing, the governor canceling the Arnold Classic, questions about the March Madness, the tournament. And so you're starting to see rumblings like, what is this? We're canceling the Arnold Classic. Who cancels the Arnold Classic, the biggest moneymaker in Columbus? And probably the state. So you're seeing the outside impact of COVID, but also being within the healthcare setting, we're thinking, okay, we have to set up a command center to just focus on COVID. And within a week, we all got sent home to work. Honestly, we didn't think it was going to be this long.
My name is Lakin Shodzinski. I'm an attorney at Grossman Law Offices, and I've been practicing law since December of 2020. March 2020, very interesting time for me. I was in the middle of my final semester of law school at Capitol, and I actually was traveling right before things got pretty crazy in March. Early March, I was in Boston, Massachusetts for a bit of an early spring break. And I remember getting dinner at Pat and Gracie's downtown in Columbus once I, came back, and I had an evening class that night. And a headline came up on one of the TVs at Pat and Gracie's that said, Harvard closed, for the campus closed for the rest of the spring semester. And I realized, oh my God, this is getting very serious. I was just there. And now it's, COVID is considered so dangerous and so serious that a major university closed. And that was huge. And then I remember going to class and hearing through, I think, a text from a friend that went to OSU that OSU Law School closed. Everything's virtual the rest of the semester. And then while I was in that class on that Tuesday, Capitol announced that things were going to be virtual at least through March and maybe the beginning of April. But I was shocked. I was not expecting that.
I'm David Conrad, partner with Bricker and Eckler. Before Corona, business was great, probably as much as I've ever had. Everything was really on track and doing very well. Had beefed up our real estate group significantly and had a lot of people busy and happy. So things were going pretty well. And then, a little over a year ago in March, things started happening. The first 2 months of each year are, January, February are kind of our slowest months, typically. And so we came off of 2 relatively slow months, just normal cycle, and right into March when the virus and the pandemic hit. And when we do so much work with banks, they just basically froze, and the entire market kind of froze for about 4 months or so. And while we did modifications of existing deals, and we closed a lot of deals that were pending. The banks, for the most part, honored their commitments, and they proceeded and closed the way they were supposed to. And so that kept us busy for 2 or 3 months, just finishing up those deals, and then things got kind of slow for a while.
I am Krista Pearson, and I practice law as a criminal defense attorney as well as a family law attorney. When I first heard about coronavirus, it was exactly March 12th, 2020. The reason that date sticks in my mind and is so dear to my heart is because I was scheduled to get married on Saturday, March 14th. So I went to work at court on the 12th. Things were fine. March 13th, which was Friday the 13th, 2020, I went to court, and more people started to talk about this pandemic. Are things going to shut down? Are we going to continue to come to court? Are we going to have toilet paper? Are we going to be able to go to the grocery store? Are we going to be able to go to restaurants and have food? And I thought, we better, because I'm getting married tomorrow, and I'm getting married at a restaurant. It's been planned, and it's going to happen. Well, later that day, on the 13th, we had family members, friends calling saying, hey, are you guys canceling your wedding? And we thought, well, no, why would we do that? We heard of this coronavirus, COVID-19, but in my mind, it seemed so far away. It wasn't here in Franklin County, it wasn't in Columbus, and it wasn't near my wedding or near my family. So I thought it was something that was just going to kind of blow over. Actually, I thought after the wedding, it's going to be fine. Come Monday or Tuesday, we'll be fine. Well, on that Friday the 13th, when I picked my 10-year-old up from school, she carried out her entire cubby items. She had everything out of her desk, everything out of her cubby, and she brought it to the car line. And I thought, well, what are we going to do with that? And she informed me that the school was shutting down. She goes to a private school. Their school shut down immediately. And I said, okay, well, that's fine, because we're having a wedding tomorrow. And the wedding did proceed on March 14th, 2020. But during the wedding, we heard that restaurants may close on Sunday, the 15th, March 15th. And I thought, well, that can't happen either, because we have family that's going out to dinner with us that came in from out of town. So we'll be going to that restaurant to have dinner. And we did go to the restaurant, but it closed at 8:00 p.m. And then after that, everything shut down. And I thought, well, this is real. This is here.